everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from the Mortal Realms and Grand Alliance Destruction, the Ogor Mawtribes. Yes, we are back once more with more ogres, and today we have Grell Firefist, an absolutely wonderful named character for the ogres, and I'm really excited to paint this one. I think this model's fantastic. I love it. So we're going to jump in and we're going to start doing that. But before we do that, a massive thank you goes out to Games Workshop for sending me this one early to build up and paint with all of you. And it's been primed in Wraithbone. So with all that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some Stormfiend. We're going to apply this over top of Grell's trousers. Nice and simple to kick things off. With that Stormfiend applied to the trousers, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Ultramarines Blue. And we're going to apply this over top of the grips of these knives, just here. And we're also going to apply this over the top of the Stormfiend on the trousers. With the Ultramarines Blue all applied, we now take some Sigvald Burgundy. And we apply this over top of the cummerbund. With that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Cygor Brown. And we're going to apply this over the top of quite a lot of the models. So we're going to be applying this over the top of the boots. We're going to apply this over the top of the arm wraps. And we're going to apply this over the top of the sort of covering on her back as well. With that all done, what we then do is we take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Larmian Medium and Cygor Brown. And we apply this over top of the belt and the large pack on the back. With that thinned down Cygor Brown applied, we actually also did it over the top of Grell's hair. What we're going to do next is we're going to take some Gore-Grunta Fur and we're going to apply this over the top of the belt and that large bag on the back, but not over the top of the hair. I just want to add a lot of lovely warmth into it like that. With that Gore-Grunta Fur applied, we are now going to take some Black Legion. And we're going to apply this over the top of this large strap going around, holding up the cannon. And there's a couple of little straps on the back of the knee pads as well. Next up, we're then going to take a roughly 2 parts Wyldwood to 1 part Larmian Medium mix. And we're going to apply this over top of all of our remaining leather and pouches. And with that Wyldwood all applied, we're then going to take a roughly 2 parts Guilliman Flesh to 1 part Larmian Medium mix. We're going to apply this over top of all of Grell's skin. Whilst we wait for that to dry, we're going to take some Berserker Bloodshade and we're going to apply this over top of this tassel just here. Next up we take some Nuln Oil and we're going to apply this over top of this little bit of tassely hairy stuff coming down off the ear. But we're also going to apply this over the top of the skull inside the cannon, and we're going to apply this over the top of the large bone around the cannon's maw. And so with that Nuln Oil all applied, we are now going to take some thinned down Castellax Bronze, and we're going to apply this over top of the cannon. And with that Castellax Bronze all applied, we then take some thinned down Iron Warriors. We're going to apply this over top of any ammunition, some of the armour, the blade, and any chains, as well as the hook. There is a couple of little bands in the hook that are going to be a different colour. And so with that all done, we are now going to apply our final base coat, which is going to be some thinned down Balthasar Gold over the top of all of our remaining details. So with that all done, it's now time to add some shades. And the first of which is going to be some Berserker Bloodshade. And what we're going to do is going to thin it down roughly 4 or 5 parts water to make it this sort of kind of filtery glaze type shade that we're going to apply over the top of Grell's skin. With that Berserker Bloodshade all applied, we're then going to take some Targor Rageshade, and we're going to apply this over top of all the Balthasar Gold and all the silver, excluding the cannonballs. And with that Targor Rageshade all applied, we're then going to take a roughly 2 parts Lamia medium to 1 part Black Templar mix, and we're going to apply this over top of the Castellax Bronze of the cannon, and we're going to apply this over top of the ammunition. So with our shades all applied, Grell Firefist is now what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. However, we're not going to leave her there. No, we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to do this by adding some layers and some highlights. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start with a highlight, and it's going to be some thinned down pink horror. I'm going to use this to highlight the burgundy. Next up, it's a little bit out of sequence, but what we're going to do next is we're going to take some thinned down Fenrisian Grey. I'm going to use this to highlight the Ultramarines Blue areas, but not the trousers. And so with that all done, we then take some thinned down Teclis Blue, and we use this to highlight the trousers. Next up, we're going to take some thinned down Gorthor Brown. I'm going to use this to highlight the darkest Cygor Brown areas. With that Gorthor Brown all applied, we then take some thinned down Doombull Brown, and we use this to highlight the bag and the belt. And with that Doombull Brown applied, we then take some thinned down Karak Stone, and we use this to highlight the Wyldwood bits. And with that all done, we then take some thinned down Stormvermin Fur. I'm going to use this to highlight the black details. And with that all done, we now take some thinned down Corax White, and we use this to highlight the big bone, the skull inside the cannon, and that hairy tassel. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Flayed One Flesh, and what we're going to do is we're going to thin it down just a little bit more than we would normally, sort of roughly 4 or 5 parts water. That's quite a lot more actually. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this as a kind of glaze over top of all the flat parts of the skin. With that all done, to make us stand out a little bit from some of our previous ogres, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of some Targor Rageshade, and we're going to apply this over top of the inside of the mouth, the lips, the eyes, and the nose. With that all done, our next colour is going to be some thinned down Corvus Black. And we're going to use this to draw in a checkerboard going across this bag and a tattoo on Grell's head. And we're also going to use this just to block in the eyes because we've got it open and thinned down. So we're just going to start with those eyeballs. Like that. And then on the head, just above the ear, she has a little kind of serpent tattoo. So we're just going to start by basically drawing in the tattoo. So with that all done, we then take the teensiest, tiniest amount of Screaming Skull. We use this to pick out the teeth and a little dot of it in the corners of the eyeballs. So with that all done, we're now going to take some lead belcher. I'm going to use this to dry brush a couple of bits. Specifically, we're looking to dry brush the cutting edge of the blade. There, like that. And our blackened metal pieces. And with that all done, we then take some thinned down iron breaker and we use this to highlight all of the silver. With our silver now complete, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down brass scorpion. We're going to use this to relayer the flat parts of the Balthasar Gold. And just before we highlight our Balthasar Gold areas, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Rune Lord brass. And we're going to use this to effectively relayer this sort of filigree decorative part of the cannon like that, but we're also going to use this to highlight the Castellax Bronze. And so with that all done, we then take some thinned down Canoptek alloy. And we're going to use this to highlight all of our Balthasar Gold / brass scorpion-y bits. I'm going to use this to also highlight our filigree area on the cannon. Whilst we wait for all of that metallic stuff to dry, we're going to take a little bit of some blood for the blood god, and we're going to apply this over top of the leg . Just like that. And so to finish off Grell Firefist, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Incubi Darkness. I'm going to thin it down with roughly 4 or 5 parts water to 1 part Incubi Darkness. I'm going to use this to add some verdigris to the cannon. And this sort of thing, you can just apply it over the top like that. Wash the brush and then just go in there and muss it up a bit, like so. And we're also going to apply this around the rivets. In our brass. And there we have it, base all complete. Grell Firefist is now finished. I called her Iron Fist at the end there. I don't know what my brain was on. It was way too hot last week when I was trying to paint this one. So I really enjoyed it, despite the heat. And we've got a lot more Ogre content on the way coming very, very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that. And I hope you enjoyed this one, because I certainly did. I think it's a beautiful model. And it's a really, really cool little playing piece. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.